Wir kommen jetzt zu einer Stelle, wo wir Sie mit einem, Sie kennen ihn sicherlich alle, einem Autoren bekannt machen wollen. Er ist Tuvia Tenenbom. Sie wissen, dass der Autor hat geschrieben, Allein unter Deutschen, eine Entdeckungsreise. Und ich freue mich sehr darüber. Wo sind Sie, Herr Tenenbom? Da ist er. Wo ist er? Da ist er. Kommen Sie zu uns.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Damen und Herren. Thank you for being here. My name is Tuvia, and we know that we are in a Jewish conference in Germany because I am about 25 minutes late. When I first came to Germany, people explained to me the customs and the tradition of this land. If you invite a guest to show up at 7 o'clock, if he is German, he comes exactly at 7:00. If he is a Jew, he comes at 7:30, and if he is black, he comes an hour later. So at least with the Jew thing, we are done, so thank you. I'll speak to you. My time schedule, I think, is 10 minutes, so I'll try to be short. Later on, we'll be in a breakout session, I think it's called, and we'll deal with the book, not Allein, unter, Deutschen, but more with Allein, unter, Juden. And as I walked today, I stayed here, and I walked a few minutes outside to smoke a cigarette, and it was amazing the difference between here and outside. Here, for some of the speeches that I heard, life in Germany is wonderful. Germany and the Jews are getting along very, very well. The government is great. Everybody is beautiful. And we live like brothers and sisters. And for 50 years, we have a relationship. And how great it is. Thank you, Germany. Outside, there's a different story. Outside, there are police people. Polizei. Why? Because when the Jews come together, anywhere in Germany, there is a police presence. You can tell when you drive with a car on German roads, you can tell that something, either if you see police, either there was a rape took place or a murder, or Jews are praying. That's, there is a police. And why? Because everybody is afraid that something bad will happen. And since President Rivlin, President of Israel Rivlin, spoke to you before, and since I have been told that some people from the German parliament or whatever, the European Parliament, are here or in the session, I'll try to point one thing out in these few minutes that I have here. Yesterday, last night, I read in Haaretz that European Parliament members sent an urgent message to Rivlin and asking him that the law that is about to be enacted or to be voted in the Israeli parliament, in the Knesset, it's called Chok HaAmutot. It's the law of the NGOs. They want that law not to be brought to the parliament. And some of them, of those people, of the parliaments, are people, parliamentarians and politicians, European politicians, including German politicians, who are actually members of German-Israel friendship one or another. And what do they want to stop? Those NGOs, as we'll discuss later in the breakout sessions, I found out to be anti-Semitic to the core. When it comes to Germany, from the CDU all the way to, of course, the Linke, operating in Israel, beautiful-looking Germans, mostly young, funded with millions of euros, are operating in Israel with the Palestinians for one purpose: to make sure there is not one Arab alive who still trusts the Jew. How do I know it? I infiltrated their organizations. And it was frightening to see anti-Semitism pure operating in the Middle East today. And that, for that and against that, there is the law that tells people, those NGOs, that they must be transparent where they got the money from. Because that money is for those NGOs are supported and financed by European countries. Mainly, country number one is Germany. And we'll talk about it later. And that is something that is very, very important for us to remember. And I think this should be addressed when you talk about Jewish gathering here or Israel gathering. This should be addressed, and I hope it will be addressed a little bit more. What really happens? Take an example of the refugees. I am now on a month-long ride together with my wife and Izzy. Where are you? Okay. To the next book with Surkamp, Allein, unter Flüchtlingen. So we are visiting the refugees. Some of those refugees think they know me since we both speak Arabic, and they ask me who I am, and I tell them that I am half German and half Jordanian, which is very good. And we talk and we discuss things. The moment they realize I am a Jew, they don't want to talk to me. Well, I might understand it, I can understand it, and the ones who cover them, the ones who justify what they do, or lie in order that I will not know what was just happening, why the Arab just left, are peace-loving people, even Antifa, the ones who declare themselves not to be anti-Semitic. And it's frightening to see, day in and day out, that even the people whose flag is human rights, whose flag is love to all, have taken one group of people out of the equation of human rights, the Jews. As some group of people, not German this time, 3 Swedish people who are proud of their country's contribution to bringing in refugees. When I asked them, because we are all humans and we have to help each other, I asked them for their opinion. We got to talking about Israel, and they said that Israel, they called it, they said, what, Israel you mentioned? That mini Nazi state? That's what's happening today. Parliamentarians who should know better, German politicians who should know better, they finance these organizations day in and day out, millions upon millions of euros. It looks good outside. They support Israel, Angela Merkel, we love the Jews. Here is a submarine for little money or no money. But underneath, support for organizations, one after another, that is anti-Semitic. So I think we should talk about it, and we should ask German parliamentarians, because we are in Germany, not to get involved in a democratic sessions of Israeli parliament. That's colonialism. If we try to intervene in another democratic countries, vote, that's colonialism. Because they tell them, if you pass that vote, that was the message to Rivlin, if you pass that vote, it will hurt your chances in Europe. That should not go. So I'm sorry that I brought not such a cheerful message as my predecessor, and for that, to compensate you for that, I hoped that the music people will come in and give you another la 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 la. Thank you very much. We'll see you later at the breakout session.